Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely sensational show coming your way today. This guest has been on our show many, many times. She always brings a wealth of knowledge. Absolutely fantastic young lady that's doing great. I can add some more greats on that things. And We're just so happy to have her to take the time to come on the show today. I'm not going to give her name away right now because I know Michelle will beat me up. How you doing, Dr. Cooley?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you today?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited about this guest coming back on because every time she come on the show, she just brings so much enthusiasm, education, wisdom, knowledge, and all of those great things. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. So Michelle, I want to get started. Can you do the honors introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Oh, most definitely. And we're continuing to celebrate Women's History Month. And the title of today's show is What Do You Do When the Rug Seems to Have Been Pulled Out from Underneath You Suddenly? So we're having a sit-down conversation with Ambassador Dr. Margaret Dureke. She's the founder and executive director for WETATi Academy and Margaret Speaks. She's going to talk about, what does it really mean having the rug pulled out from underneath you? Swinging intentionally and purposely. Reimagine what? Regroup, revision, become innovative, and turn the other side of the rug. So Ambassador Dr. Margaret Dureke is a distinguished dynamic figure honored with a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022 and recognized as the MLS 2023 All-Star Hometown Hero, selected as one of the Maryland Daily Record Top 100 Women in 2023, and received Honorary Doctorate in Entrepreneurship and Business Administration in 2022. Again, she's the founder, president, executive director of WETATi Academy, a practical entrepreneurship education and empowerment nonprofit organization located in partnership with the Nyumburu Cultural Center, the University of Maryland, College Park. Additionally, she's the founder of Margaret Speaks, a training platform that she uses to teach others on how to rewrite their tomorrow. To the show. So let's welcome to the show, Ambassador Dr. Margaret Dureke.
Ambassador, how are you doing today?
I am so doing fantabulously great. Now that I can talk to my brother. We haven't talked, usually talk like every other day, but what's going on? Whatever the rug is that anybody seemingly wants to pull from under, they're wasting their time. So let's have it. I'm doing great. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you and my sister, Michelle. And thank you guys for touching so many lives. May God Almighty touch your lives in such a way as well.
Thank you so much. You've been thoroughly missed, you and John.
Yeah.
How is John?
He's fine. Just on his way to drop the baby girl who's been with us. She's on her way back to New York this hour.
Oh, yeah.
It was here for the program we had at University of Maryland for our Women's Month, where we were discussing how do you navigate the new workforce culture for women in this climate and beyond. And it was phenomenal. It was really great.
Right. For people that might have not seen you on the show before, can you tell them a little bit about Ambassador Dr. Dureke?
Yeah.
What made you click? Why you're so passionate about all the things that you're doing?
I do a lot of things, but one thing I'm not good at is talking about myself, because sometimes it can be a little bit self-serving. I'll just say a couple of things, and then as we have the conversation, they can gain or glean insight as to who I am and how I got to be where I am. But simply put, what's most important to me is my faith in God and my family. I've been married to my best friend and buddy, John Dureke. This is our 39 years together. I know I look like I'm 16, y'all. Hey. That is so thirsty when you have to toot your own horn. How thirsty can one be? But, it took a while to get here. So pardon me, I'm not coming for nobody. And then we have 3 amazing daughters. They're doing very well. I am so passionate about life because what else is there to do? Because you got one life. Wherever you go, there would you be. If you become your own worst enemy, what would be the point of life? Am I passionate and hopeful because everything is dandy for me all the time? No, happiness is a choice. The path we take to deal with things in our lives is also choices that we have to make. So I intentionally decide by the choices I made, like starting the nonprofit organization, was born out of frustration, my own way of the rug being pulled from underneath me. But one of my specialties in life is whatever side of the rug you flip, you just gave me a gift. So my hope today is not to blase about me, but in this conversation, can we help somebody pivot from whatever color the rug that's been pulled from underneath them? But my biggest moment and gratitude now for my own daughter to be a part of this movie that is kind of chasing the world down, called One of Them Days. So if you haven't watched it, go watch One of Them Days. You will learn a lot. The wisdoms of life will be featured in that particular movie. The art that you see in that movie is one of my daughters. They went to public school like everybody else. I am passionate because I know nothing is too difficult for God to do. Who you were born to, you the name of your father, none of that. Am I saying there are no challenges? I'm here to tell
Dr. Dureke?
You could have all the challenges. Yeah, somebody was trying to call me or whatever.
Oh,
You can have all the challenges in the world, but nothing can stop you unless you stop yourself. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation on today, because everywhere I turn, when you guys reached out to me for a show, and I'm thinking, what? Because I can talk about anything. I allowed myself to fall in the gutters of life and get up, clean myself so well that even my makeup looks flawless, y'all, right? You can do that with every aspect of your life. I am feeling good now because happenstances hadn't happened to me. I'm feeling good and hopeful and optimistic. I'm pushing forward instead of repelling backwards, not because the challenges anyone else watching or listening to us had or currently has right now hasn't happened to me. Maybe, to be honest with you, mine is series of them, but because of those, I am the person that I am today. So I just want to not blase. Let's get going, because I told you I have a hard time talking about myself. Let's just have the conversation.
Okay, well, let's get going. So, you know what? Why is this particular topic important for you to talk about today? Having the rug pulled up underneath you suddenly. Why did you want to talk about this?
Because there's a lot going on right now in the country and around the world. As I go about my business day to day, from my coaching program to my presentations to the trainings I conduct on business, whether students or parents or what have you, everybody's saying, most people seem to be down. And it was like, I just lost my job. I wasn't planning to lose my job. I didn't think so. It was a lot of pessimism. It's a lot of hopelessness, a lot of where do I go from here? Those are some of you were just having your little pancake, having fun, eating, doing this and that, thinking about this vacation you're going to take with your kids in the next 2 months or whatever. All of a sudden, you get a pink slip. All of a sudden, somebody says you're fired. All of a sudden, let me remove that then. Oh, you've been married for whatever number of years. Unknown to you, unbeknownst to you, you come home, somebody say, honey, I love you, but I got to go. You're like, what? What did I do? What's wrong? It is usually those moments that can make or break a human being. Anyone who is thinking that they are immune from it is not yet born. Because of the current climate in the world, in America, most people feel like whether their curtains or their rugs been pulled from under, their financial well-being, the different plan that they had. I was going to be in my job for another 3 years so I can return. But when that happens suddenly, or your health, you've been exercising, dancing all over the place, looking good, and one little visit to a doctor, they tell you got 1 year to live. That pull from under every plan you had, every single human. The question is, how do we pivot? What do we do? Does that become a pronouncement of death? How do we flip that around, taking that pink slip, letting you go when you didn't expect? Could it be an opportunity that you need to? Because most people wouldn't change unless change is forced upon them. So is that a much more?
Ambassador, hold that thought. We got to take a station break, but I want to come back, because that is so true about the rug being pulled off and under you, and things just happen all of a sudden. And so I'll tell you what, whichever platform you're watching this on, whether it's E36 television, transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, or over 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. I've heard so many powerful stories from women who survived heart disease because they took action in time. But I've also heard stories of women who weren't as lucky. The difference? Awareness, access to care, and early intervention. According to the American Heart Association, every 80 seconds, a woman in the United States dies from cardiovascular disease. That's more than one life lost every single minute. But did you know that 80% of heart disease cases are preventable? That's right, 80%. That means small changes like eating healthier, exercising, and managing stress can save lives.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm committed to making sure that more women survive and strive. Please join me in raising funds for the American Heart Association to support life-saving research, because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, let's spread awareness and help women recognize the warning signs before it's too late. Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we're here with the absolutely fantastic Ambassador Dr. Dureke, and she just mentioned something a second ago about having a rug pull off and under you, and that is so true. It happens all the time, happens every day, probably every minute, and I don't know how to prepare for something like that. So I want to get directly back to the ambassador. You was talking about having the rug pulled off on you from a marriage, or going into the doctor's office, or going to work and they got a pink slip. As you see today, in today's time, especially with the government, this happens, happening a lot, or way more than a lot, where these folks did not have a clue that they're going to be coming to work, and the government tell them that, hey, you no longer have a job here. We're cutting out your department. How do people prepare for that type of news? Or what's some of the warning signs that people need to be watching out for, Ambassador?
So I think you nailed it in the head when I don't know if you know, when you said, how do you prepare for that? How does someone, that's the reason why this is so unique. There's no way you can prepare for it. That's why the word suddenly is there. Because if you were prepared, then nobody can pull any rug underneath from you, right? So that's what makes this topic so important, because it's something no one can prepare for. even if, say, for instance, say in the government setting, a lot of people had some talk, or some people may get laid off. People's like, oh, it's not gonna be me, or some people's like, it's gonna be me. It's like, it's just like, so no one gets. Oh, you for some reason have a little headache, persistent. You just think, oh, it's nothing. Then somebody said, just go check it out. Go to the doctor. You're healthy. You're doing all the right things. You go to the doctor. They're like, oh, you got 2 days to go. How do you prepare for that? Yeah. You've been married to somebody 10 years. You guys are buddy doing everything. And then you come home, one of them say, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm going to run off. How do you prepare for that? You had this amazing children or kid who you thought was going to be here they come home and say, Mom and Dad, I'm moving to California, forget you and whatever. I've never seen. How do you prepare for that? The answer is there is no way, no matter how smart you are, how much prepared person you are, or progressive minded, you cannot prepare for that, period.
Most definitely. So, Ambassador Dureke, in what ways can having the rug pulled out from underneath you lead to personal growth, resilience, or transformation? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that's where I was going for. That's really the question you just asked me is the reason why I chose this topic. Because every time something negative happens, it's not really always gloom and doom. But because we're stuck on what we believe is the norm for us, right? And whenever that norm is changes for whatever the reason, most people do not bring about change themselves. Very few people work on change on themselves. Majority of the times, the changes most people experience is the one others or life forces on them, if that makes any sense. And that's why it is so painful to them. So if you are someone who just depends on what others tell you to do on how you're going to be about your life, and you take that as a Bible, and you never think about what if this happened, then what? What about the different planning? What you need to do is, first of all, you have to bear the shock. If anybody tells you that they're not in shock, even if you kind of thought it was coming somehow, right? Or somebody's loved one is told that the person is going to die in 5 days. I'm just using that. Just bear with me. In 5 days or 5 years. But somewhere along the line, everybody knows it's coming. But still, when it happens, you're in shock because it's not natural. So what do? If people do not begin to realize that as long as we're human on earth, as long as we are out there doing and being, the rug, you need to fill in the blank for yourself, whatever that means in your life, whether it's in any relationship, whatever, in any facet of life, nobody escapes it. The question is to what degree and what does it mean and what resources do the one have? And the fear is always coming from lack of resource. The fear is, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to find a new normal? Who is going to help me with this? Is this going to kill me? Who is going to feed my kids? How am I going to pay my bills? That's really where this thing is coming from, right? So I brought this up to say, I have a few suggestions on what and how people can go about it. It's not a fix. But my finding is that people who tend to follow the path of pessimism, no matter what you try to share with them, what negative could bring to bear with what could be good tomorrow, they're like, yeah, I can see that happen. My life is. So the first thing I believe for me personally, when anything happens to me that I didn't expect, that's what I call the pulling the rug from underneath you, which sometimes it can be we cause it ourselves. Sometimes it could be the one somebody else's. Regardless of how that rug was pulled from underneath you, the process is the same. Every human being has a different way of processing this kind of situation. Some of us are better at it than others. I am better at it because I've been through through stuff like this so many times that it's no longer a big deal to me. I get it pulled almost on a daily basis. But that's how I've become this formidable, unstoppable person that nothing can stop except death. Even at that, I may have some clues on that. So the first thing I said, oh my God, really? Why me? Why did that happen to me? Why didn't it happen to John and James or Monica, whatever? And I'm like, oh my God, my life is over. Okay, all right. For how long are you going to do that? All right. Shock and awe is the first thing that it will go through. Or you go to the doctor, right? Yesterday, my baby, she said, my leg is hurting. We went to her doctor to go because she does some workout and stuff like that. Upon getting there, the doctor said, the part of your calf is swollen. you need to go to the emergency because it may be a blood clot. And I'm thinking to myself, she was living back to New York today. We had no intention of spending the whole day and evening at the hospital. Guess what? That when you hear blood clot on anything, you got to drop everything, because that kills people just like that. What just happened to us that yesterday was another form of pulling the rug from underneath. Right? What did we do? I was like, oh my God, I got all these things to do. She said, Mom, what am I going to do? Guess what? After the quick shock and awe sets in, the next thing we begin to process what we just heard. We begin to process the information we've been given. And somebody says, here, you got 3 days to leave. Some people walk into the office, they tell them, take your stuff and leave. They don't even give them any warning at all. Even though you're thinking, am I going to be one of those and stuff, but you still never be prepared for it. What do? Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bill? The shock and awe comes, it sets in. The next thing, you begin to embrace yourself. You begin to find a way to encourage yourself. Don't go drinking stuff or smoking stuff. That's not going to help you. That can even make your situation, because you got to sit in your pain sometimes to be able to pull it together for yourself. Because if you refuse to accept the pain or the shock and awe, you're literally not going to be able to find a way forward. After the shock and awe sets in, you're feeling disgruntled, you're feeling upset, rightfully so. Nobody should be treated shabbily for any reason. Nobody deserves to be marginalized. Every human being, we're looking for the same things in life, no matter where we find ourselves, at whatever degree. Then the next thing is, okay, I need to start processing. This thing is not going to change. I need to start processing what just happened. I acknowledge it and accept it. So how do I move on from here? If it is a health issue, and I remember years ago, and I don't know what it was. I think it was something in my hip. Something was bothering me, and I went to the doctor, and she's like, "Oh yeah, when you get older, that happens and stuff like that." And initially, I was in shock, and I said, "Oh my God, really? Is that really?" After the initial shock and awe, I said, "No, there are people that are older than me that don't have that." I immediately began to change my mindset. I started to think, what can I do to change my lot? For instance, anyone today who just lost their jobs through this, whatever is going on or whatever the reason is, do you know, or could you think perhaps, is this the chance for me to start my own business, right? Without mentioning certain companies, there are major companies in America that started, the owners founded it because they were laid off from their jobs. See, people don't understand. Sometimes the geniuses among us hide in a workplace because we're afraid to try it. But life can flip it. That's the pulling that rug from under. And all of a sudden, the creativity, the genius, the innovative person shows up, because we call it where the rubber meets the road, right? At the point where you know your livelihood is, there is no more sleeping 12 hours a day, something like that. That idea you've been putting underneath your rug, you literally and figuratively speaking over the years, you're like, this may be the time for me to start. What I'm saying to you guys is, you get through the shock and awe, but you can't sit there. You got to pick yourself up and begin to take so many steps on purpose, painfully. And I'm not saying dismiss the pain. You got to leave it behind you. If not, it's going to kill you, because resentment is a poison, right? The person you're resenting, for whatever the reason they did that to you, has pulled that rug from underneath you suddenly. What makes it so painful is the suddenness of it. Because if you were prepared, it won't be that painful. But they do it in a way that you couldn't see it coming. But the power that you have is not to allow anyone to destroy you. No amount of money they have above you, nothing that, like I told you, when the doctor said that, I said, that's not true. I'm going to change what I'm doing. I'm going to change the type of workout I do. I'm going to change how much water I drink more water. I'm going to work out. I'm going to lift weight. And I'm telling y'all, I have an event today with Charles County Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to be in heels, 6-inch heels, right? What am I saying to you? You can use your mind to heal, restore yourself, regardless of what is. Do you want to go back? Maybe not. Try to do maybe two jobs. Whatever you need to do. My point is, when that rug is pulled from underneath you suddenly, it is not to kill you. It's for you to find a new normal. And the amazing thing is, the new person or the new life you're going to cultivate is you're going to say, wow, why didn't I think about this sooner? You know why? Because people like to be comfortable in nothingness. When life forces it upon you, you're gonna love the new you. Right now, you're like, what are you talking about? I can't pay my bill. You have to be the one, because that's lack is a catalyst for ingenuity, for innovation. When you don't have, you're gonna get up and do something. So I'm saying, for me, when times get tough, when the rubber meets the road for me, when that rug figuratively and literally is pulled from underneath me, the genius in me comes out. There's no time for
hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna take a station break, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about suddenly how the rug is pulled off from under you, because yesterday the rug was completely pulled off from under me. And I didn't have an answer, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. If you want to be part of the conversation, regardless of which platform you're watching us on, E360 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and over 85 other platforms, including the radio AM 660, The Answer out of Dallas, AM 1170, The Answer out of San Diego, FM 96.1 out of San Diego. Welcome to the show. You want to be part of the conversation? Go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
At Meridian Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Meridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at meridianchristianuniversity.com. That's meridianchristianuniversity.com.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. Come on. Listen up. It's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we got the Honorable Ambassador, Dr. Dureke here, and I tell you what, she opened my eyes a few minutes ago with this suddenly, unexpected. I had an episode yesterday where I went in for a procedure. And when I got to the hospital, there's a procedure in my back. The doctor told me, he said, "Hey, you did not take your stress test 2 weeks ago. Therefore, we're going to have to do this procedure without anesthesia." So, I mean, there's no way that I was expecting nothing like that. But he said, "You got a choice. You can cancel it, or you have to take it like a man or a woman." So I was in a situation, Ambassador, where I needed that surgery, whatever that was, really, really bad. So it was about the attitude. I sit back. He said, "I'm gonna give you 15 minutes to think about it." It went through my mind. And I said, "I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna take it like a man." Yeah. So he performed that on me without anesthesia. Mm. Now, I would never do it again. Mm. I would take the type of tests I had to take prior to getting there. But suddenly, I was in a situation where I could have crumbled. Yeah. And ran out of there, and Michelle would have made fun of me. But
she wouldn't. Michelle loves you. She would not.
No, but I did it. You know, I did it, and everything is okay. I'm on the air today. So sometimes we're faced with situations and circumstances where it might not always be bad. Mm-hmm. It sounds bad, it looks bad, or whatever, but that gives us an opportunity to refocus your mindset. Mm-hmm. And you have to do what you have to do. But before we get back to this, I want to tell everybody about this absolutely fantastic university called Meridian Christian University. Yeah, I am the chancellor. I'm the chancellor. But our program is accredited. We offer over 30 degree programs, including bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and we also offer honorary doctorates for people that are doing extraordinary things in their community and in the world. So I tell you what, if you're looking to further your education, you're looking for a great Christian education, check us out, VeridianChristianUniversity.com. Again, that's VeridianChristianUniversity.com. You know, I want to get back to this because suddenly, you know, things do happen. You already know that. And what's some of the advice would you share with our folks and our viewers out there that you mentioned mindset? You mentioned baby girl mindset. You guys' mindset had to change because you had to get her to the doctor because they said something that wasn't right. I mean, blood clots. That's serious. What would you tell a person when they do encounter bad news immediately, not to just blow up, just sit back and everything is about the attitude? How would you explain that to them?
Right. Thanks again. I'm so glad you were able to do what you had to do to take care of yourself. Because if not, maybe you wouldn't even be here today. Who knows? Just to complete that story, my daughter, we were able to go, and after they did all the tests, they said it was kind of a muscle pull. It wasn't it was not a blood clot. But the reason why I came back to that is that when something happens to you all of a sudden and you weren't expecting it, or even if you kind of, you know, how somebody said, oh, somebody has an affair, you said, I was suspecting, but you weren't really sure. I said, the first thing is you go through the shock and everybody deals with it differently. You may want to cry. You're like, okay, where do I go from here? What am I going to do? One of the things that I recommend that people do, if you have a support system, everybody's different. Some people can deal with certain things by themselves, but pain can be ameliorated if you have a community who can work with you, listen to you, give you some guidance, to give you some views on how you can deal with it. You must, first of all, acknowledge it. It doesn't have to be all of a sudden. I'm one of those people that I don't like pain or resentment to linger, or disappointment, because it's a form of disappointment, right? Resentment, disappointment, rejection, whatever you call it. I try to give it a timeline so that I don't go into, like, a lot of people say, oh, I don't know why I'm depressed. I don't know when, and they want to make that depression. And I'm not speaking against anybody. And I'm not talking about clinical depression. That's a different thing. That's not my cup of tea. That's not my forte. I'm just talking about what is humanly natural with most of us, because sometimes from the happenstances of life, we can get down on ourselves. We think, how come everybody else is okay, but not us? But you can also realize that those are the moments that the uniqueness in you could show up. If you allow yourself to breathe, if you can allow yourself to take in what is happening to you, to realize that, one, that could be a catalyst for change. Two, it could be an opportunity for something you've never done before, or do the things. So there was a TV station that I was in last month, and there was a conversation about so many people being laid up and stuff. And one of them came to me and said, I don't know, maybe I've been wanting to write a book. I've been wanting to travel the world, even though I don't have the money. And I wanted to start my own business. And as I started talking to them, I said, this is the mindset you should have. One, that mindset is literally everything. You cannot make change on anything until your mindset is right. Look at what you said yesterday. Remember when I said the first thing you go through the shock and awe, then when you let that set in, which is what you did when the doctor gave you the ultimatum, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this without epidural? You went through it, right? And then you sat down, took 15 minutes to process what was said to you. That's exactly what we're talking about here, right? We may be talking about your health issue and how you handle to go through that phase. It's the same thing somebody who just lost a job got to go through. It doesn't matter whether you're dealing with health or selling oranges or whatever. That's why I said fill in the blank for yourselves. Whatever that pulling the rug could be, on a relationship you had with a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend for years, all of a sudden they give you the I'm done with you kind of thing. It's the same thing. So you don't have to also be in denial. And I don't believe, this is me now, I don't believe in solving my problems with what I call pseudo false way, like, I don't know. I'm trying to like, somebody say, wait, I'm going to go drink this. I'm going to go do this.
I see what you're saying.
Huh? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You don't abuse your body or take substances.
Because of what I'm going through, I don't see the sense that makes really. But people say, well, everybody's different. But why I don't think everybody's different, I think I see that as a cop-out. You know why? Because that approach can never help you with what you're dealing with.
That approach
doesn't mean you
can't
can't
help you out because then we start doing crazy stuff. So suddenly things happen. I want to talk about WETATi Academy. I want to talk about that. I was so impressed last year in May when we came there to speak and all that stuff that you guys have done. So before we talk about that, I want to show a promotional video, and then I want to come back and talk about all the great things that you're doing with this great academy. Here we go.
WETATi Academy, the epicenter for creative thinking, leadership, and entrepreneurship. WETATi Academy was established by WETATi, We're Empowered to Achieve the Impossible, in partnership with the University of Maryland College Park Nyumburu Cultural Center to give middle and high school students the practical and experiential knowledge about financial literacy and workforce development that's generally not taught in schools. We teach students that it's never too early to start learning how to be fiscally responsible or establishing a business for yourself, especially when it comes to the field of STEM. Each year we partner with the University Recreation and Wellness located at University of Maryland College Park for our esports tournament and other related activities for our STEMpreneur portion of the academy to expose new ways that STEM careers can be pursued.
WETATi is so much more than just competition and so much more than just entrepreneurship. WETATi is filled with skilled people who can teach financial literacy, who can teach the entrepreneurship skills and the business skills that students are going to need, not only when they go out into the workforce, but then also when they go out to college or university.
Lastly, we create a space for young entrepreneurs to learn more about improving their small businesses through our Idea Labs, which will lead into our annual 2022 Entrepreneurship Convention and Idea Pitch Competition, where they will enter their business ideas for a chance to win prize money and mentorship from our strategic partners. Here at WETATi, we want to empower students to open their minds to the never-ending possibilities and taking their creativity to new heights.
If Dr. Dureke didn't reach out to my mom before the competition started, before all this started, I don't think the idea of even starting a business would have even crossed my mind anytime soon. All I thought about was like doing school, going to college, and then get a job. That's it, rest of my life. But ever since she reached out to her, it has opened my eyes to multiple different things. During the sessions before we started the competition, WETATi, like they sent me a lot of people, as like Dr. Dureke's daughter, Destiny Dureke. She was my coach and she helped me out a lot during the like when I was setting up and thinking about how I was gonna run my business, how I was going to be presented, and how I want people to see it, how I want people to feel about it. And also, I also want to thank Dr. Dureke for emotional support when it came to actually starting my business, because before that, I wasn't really confident about starting a business. I didn't think I had what it take. I thought it was too early, but she taught me that there's no such thing as too early or too late, as long as you start one and you have the right concept of what a business is.
So join us today by visiting WETATiAcademy.org for the opportunity to participate in this opportunity to elevate yourself and your future and get the tools to truly achieve the impossible.
Wow. You know, that is so incredible. Hey, but we're going to take a station break. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about WETATi Academy, because I have seen it in person. I have seen what you're doing. I am a big fan. And once we finish, we're going to be a big fan. So I'll tell you, we're going to take a station break. We're going to come back and talk to the Ambassador Dr. Dureke about WETATi Academy. And I tell you what, it's wonderful. Well, so I tell you what, always dream big, think big, and be big. But we'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
The one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. foresee. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the foresee. Oh yeah. It's the foresee.
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's your life, and watching that video talking about WETATi Academy, and actually Michelle and I was there last year, and it was so incredible. You know, it was so incredible what Ambassador Dr. Dureke is doing. I'm gonna turn it over to Michelle.
Yes, thank you, James. Ambassador Dureke, before we continue with the topic of having the rug pulled out from underneath you suddenly, can you just recap and just tell our audience about WETATi Academy and Margaret Speaks before we get back to our topic?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys' support. You guys are family, so appreciate it. So WETATi Academy is a nonprofit organization I founded about 13 years ago to help low to moderate income students, particularly young adults from 8 years to 5, on how to become financially independent through our practical entrepreneurship education. And we have that in the schools, particularly from Prince George's County, District of Columbia, and elsewhere. Now, we have a lot of students, now parents calling saying, how can I get my kids involved? Because we are of the mindset that these kids can be taught how to chew gum and walk and chew gum at the same time. That if we start them early on in life to think about how to become financially independent through financial literacy, practical, we are very heavy on practical, workforce development. Because if they don't learn the basics on how to communicate, how to prepare for soft skills to get out in the world, some of them may not even go to college. Even going to college alone cannot fully prepare you for all the life skills that you need to actually go to school and to go into the workforce. That's exactly what we have done all this while. But here's the thing: this year we have even grown to the extent that our gala, which is the scholarship and awards gala, where the students who participate in the Dureke Idea Pitch competition and all the awards will be conducted. You guys came last year at the Colony Ballroom. This year is going to be in the Grand Ballroom. It's 2 times that space. I mean, it is beautiful because we're growing. Lives are being changed. We're teaching them confidence, public speaking, owning their space in the world. It is really so magical to the extent Prince George's County Community and Title I School, their communication department just did a spotlight on our organization, talking to the principals and the students. Is life-changing. But can I tell you guys something regarding Margaret Speaks? I just wrote a proposal which Wells Fargo Bank partnered with us, called Small Business Growth Academy. This is a 6-month program that tomorrow is the actual ribbon cutting in Charles County. Their commissioner, which we call him Prince George's County executive, is going to be there. We have over 52 businesses that signed up for this. We want to be able to bicycle this. We can bring it anywhere you guys want. All we need is a strong partner, because especially for such a time as this, Small Business Growth Academy is highly needed. Just because you open a business doesn't make you a business owner. It makes you a business owner, but not a business person. Because if you don't have the proper skill, the pillars, and I can share that with you guys outside here, it is so amazing. It starts tomorrow is the ribbon cutting, and then we have lined up sponsors and partners, and we're going to start it on the 9th of next month all the way to September. Wells Fargo is the one that powered it financially, and they are our partner in this. They love the proposal that we put together. So now we want to take it and go everywhere where there are minority and colored people, because we got this. The tool we have prepared with this is on that Margaret Speaks training platform in partnership with the nonprofit. I would like to talk to you guys about this. That baby is so beautiful. It can change anybody who is serious, especially with people not going into business either by force or by choice. It doesn't matter how you get there, just get there. We have the right program that we can partner with any bank, any corporation, anywhere, anybody to bring this baby. We can do it virtually, we can do it hybrid. It doesn't really matter. But today is the hour for us to become entrepreneurs, either by force or by choice.
Hey,
And
I would love to chat with you about that. I mean, it sounds so wonderful. Plus, I have witnessed things that you're doing, so many great things in person.
yeah,
And my intention is to be back there this year.
sure. It's June 14th, actually.
June.
The closing keynote speaker is one of the TV personalities, Love of Marriage DC, Ashley Silver. Is already confirmed. It's going to be a beautiful thing, really. We're changing lives.
We expect to be there. Now, we got 2 minutes before the show. What are some takeaways that you want our viewers and listeners to get from this absolutely fantastic conversation? Also, Ambassador Margaret, Dr. Margaret Dureke, you are always welcome to the show anytime. So in a minute or less, what are some takeaways that you want our viewers to get from this?
First of all, you can't give up on yourself. It doesn't matter what this hour looks like. Because I don't know what each person is going through, I want to tell you, it is not too unique to you. Even if you think it's unique to you, embrace it. That makes you most. Don't give up on yourself. Reach out to get help. It's not a bad thing to get help. Find 1 or 2 people that care about you. Share your story. Your value lies in your vulnerability. Don't try to close it up like people are going to laugh at you. If nobody ever laughed at you, you have never lived. Be okay to be laughed at so you can free yourself to where you're going. I will also leave the hurt behind. Whatever is hurting you, you got to put it behind you because you can't change it. Shakespeare would say that there's no point in crying over spilled milk because what is done is done. Now focus on the way forward. What does that look like? And part of the disappointment, because you don't want to start over. Who wants to start over? But the power in starting over can be the catalyst to this next amazing person that you didn't even that existed in you, whether at a personal development level, relationally, or starting your own thing. There is power in saying, "I own this," no matter what it gives you. You can turn it into something really big.
We can turn it into something so good. Ambassador Dr. Dureke, I want to thank you. Just like I said, you got an open invitation to the show. We hope to get Chi on real soon. So hey, thank you so much. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another fantastic show. I'd like to thank my producers at AM 660 The Answer in Dallas, Fort Worth, and AM 1170 The Answer in San Diego. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. Check us out Sunday at 6 p.m. on AM 660 The Answer in Dallas, and Sunday also at 9 p.m. AM 1170 The Answer in San Diego. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you then.